welcome back to Expert Speaks. Today we'll be speaking to expert Pastor Boyd Harrell, founder and president of Cool Ministries, which stands for Christ Over Our Lives. Pastor Boyd and his ministry team are doing amazing things in individuals' lives who may suffer from alcohol and drug addiction as well as codependency issues. Cool Ministries is a multifaceted outreach program going to prisons, jails, treatment facilities, as well as transitional living centers, spreading the message of hope through deliverance and total surrenderance to Christ and how that can change a broken life. Pastor Boyd graduated UHD in 2002 with a Bachelor of Science in Science Studies, Social Science Studies, and he is also a certified faith-based Christian counselor. He's also received an honorary doctorate in ministry and focusing on restorative justice from the Theropon Theological Seminary and Bible College. But most of all, he is a witness to what that total surrenderance to Jesus Christ can do to a broken life. So today we'll hear his story, and we can also tell you how you could be a part of spreading that hope and really help drive his mission. So without further ado, the man of the hour, Mr. Pastor Boyd. Thank you so much, Pastor, for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
It is an honor to have you here.
It's a tremendous honor for me as well.
Oh my goodness, it has been a long time, but I am so happy to be back in your presence and spreading your message and what you're trying to do to everyone out here, because you're doing some amazing things, honestly.
God is good.
Amen.
All the time. Amen. So it has been a wonderful journey.
Absolutely. So I really just want to start out talking about yourself, your story, and what inspired you to pursue this journey.
Well, you know, it's often been said, Jay, that true ministry is often birthed out of pain. And so for both my wife and I, which I want to take a moment and just really give props due where props are due, my wife is an amazingly strong, very anointed, precious woman of God, and she's been the backbone of this ministry from the get-go. And so both of us, we have our stories kind of similar. Our pathways were sort of paralleled, but we didn't know each other in the mess. We came together in the Lord and at the cross. But it was birthed out of pain. You know, Jay, I grew up real fast here in the Houston area, out of like that dropout generation of the 60s, you know, the Vietnam era and all that was going on politically and around the world. And it was just really, really special time, I guess is one way of looking at it. But there was a lot of fallout, and drugs was introduced to our culture, and a lot of young people got caught up in it. A lot of our men and women of the military went to war, and so when all that began to transition, I just fell into the traps of all of it. And I had a decent home. My home was a decent home life. My parents were hardworking people that really were chasing that American dream of, you know, the middle class sector and working hard and saving up and doing things and having a house and providing for their kids. But I got caught up in the wrong things and hanging out with the wrong crowd. And before I knew it, I had drugs, alcohol, just fell into the trap of all the sin that was going on in the world. And I just got on a real spiral down. And it landed me in jail and prison. And so I suffered with a drug and alcohol addiction that lasted for 25 years. And then ended up in prison 4 times. And somehow or another, my mother's prayers and my father's agreeance with those prayers sort of put the Lord on my path. You know, he was just chasing me down, and I could run, but I couldn't hide.
Couldn't hide from him. Well, speaking of that, I know that there had to be challenges along this journey. What have been some of the challenges in the aspect of your outreach program and your mission?
Well, once I got turned around and really surrendered my all and received the Lord's power, he started putting it in my spirit, this ministry of compassion, this whole idea that he would take my mess and turn it into a message, that he would take me from that broken place into a place of wholeness, and that he could use me for his benefit and for the glory of God and the kingdom of the Lord, you know. So when I got all the factors into position of the surrender part, then his power starts flooding my life, and I start dreaming. I mean, like all the way out of the box. And I started thinking about an outreach ministry, and that through this pain, I would be able to reach other people that were suffering the same way. And then when I met my wife, everything just kind of came together. You know, the Lord dropped the whole acronym for COOL into my spirit, and it was Christ over our life. And I know that I'm not clever enough to have ever thought up something so cool. And so God gave that to me, and I really didn't even know that that would become the name of my mission. But he really has put an emphasis on Christ over our life, and how that we would go to every prison, everywhere. And so it's just been a journey, but it's been a good one.
Absolutely. And again, the work that you are doing and the community behind the prison doors is really impacting not just those individuals' lives, but others that are seeing your work. And it's really causing them to have a light and want to pitch in and want to help out. As far as your projects, can you describe a project or an accomplishment that you are particularly proud of?
Well, I really give God praise and glory for the Breaking the Chains program that he gave us. And it's a 130-page curriculum, and it's focusing on a Christ-centered 12-step recovery process that helps a person overcome either the drugs, the alcohol, the codependency. Those things are really, they're kind of like symptoms of the deeper problems, you know? And this puts us into a good position. It's really fundamental discipleship, really. But it gives a person a chance to write their story, to allow the Spirit of God a place to meet them where they're at, show them where they went off the scale, you know, and just sort of get them on the right path, you know. So I'm really pleased with the reality that that program is accepted by the Directors Review Committee at the Texas Prison System. So I'm able to teach it in every prison in Texas, and that's a lot of prisons.
Oh, wow.
And we're teaching it in about 7 right now, and it's growing.
Yeah.
And so in some instances, I send volunteers to the prison to teach the class, and in other instances, the inmates themselves are teaching it. And then it's also got a component for the family side, because so many people are touched by this, and we don't want to forget the family members, the loved ones of the incarcerated, because they're doing time too. They're going through a transition as well.
Absolutely. So you talked about your past and how you had experienced a portion of addiction and how you overcome that. I do apologize. Do you feel as if that has prepared you for this journey and this road?
100%, because Che, there's no way that I would have called this out for myself. There's no way that I would have went in this direction had the Lord not put it so definite in my spirit that this is his perfect will for my life, is to take the very things that had me trapped and use those things now as a catalyst to connect with people on an up close and personal basis, and in a special way that only the Lord could have made happen, you know?
Absolutely.
And I can connect with them. And then so it's just, there's nobody but God could get the glory for it, but it's the passion is there because of the pain that I suffered and overcame.
Absolutely. So industry, I want to say the trends. Where do you actually see this going? How do you see this developing within the next 5 years? Is this a growing industry? Do you see a lot of prison outreach programs or just outreach programs in general that are faith-based? How do you see that progressing within the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, the thing that I do recognize for sure is that there is some serious fire on these ministries of compassion, and it really does have a financial component. But in order to really continue in the way that God is directing our steps, it seems that It's going to be through videos. It's going to be through telemarketing in a way of just letting people know what's going on out there, that the ministries of compassion need support in order to carry this message of hope forward. Now, the work that I do, I like to consider it extremely ecumenical, in the sense that I'm not really all super concerned with the condition of the person that I'm ministering to. The point is that God brought me together with them for a purpose. So I don't have to be on some special agenda. It's not really about me, Christ Over Our Life Ministries. It's about helping that person get connected to the resources that may be available. So I think that what happens, the best that could happen in the industry in the next 5 years, is people working better together. And I think God's really done a major work in that field.
Yeah.
He's brought a lot of the walls down that was separating us, and we don't need to be divided. We need to be really united in the purpose of serving the people.
Absolutely. Can you tell me about a time that you had to lead people, and what do you think the best qualities are in a leader, especially in a leader that is looking to follow in your footsteps, and they want to start an outreach program as well? They have a story to tell and they want to touch other lives. What aspects?
I learned from a great man one time that in order to lead, you have to be able to follow.
Oh, that's deep.
And so I believe that you lead by example.
Okay.
If you call yourself a leader and nobody's following you, you're just taking a walk in the park. I think Maxwell said that. But the truth is that we're better together than we were alone. And so when we work well together, the leader has to be able to follow and have these attributes of leadership. That there's integrity, that you do everything by the book, that you let the Lord have the final word, and He leads, we follow, and then so that's what you're doing, and people are following that process.
Absolutely. So how do you keep yourself up to date with everything that's going on in the industry or within your field? What are some things that you do to make sure that you...
Well, one of the things that happens just kind of by default in a way is I'm in touch with so many chaplains in the prison system.
Networking.
That I begin to learn the new things that are happening within the system itself. Like right now in the state of Texas, they're passing out tablets to all of the offenders. So everybody's got a tablet, and it's causing a shift in violence behind the prison walls in some institutions.
Yeah.
I don't want to falsify anything, because it's still a very bad place, but the tablets are helping people get their attention. It's giving them a lot more freedom, and so I believe that what will happen, and this is kind of going back to your last question, but that one thing will give us an opportunity to reach more people. I just don't know exactly the parameters of how much financial expense may be incurred to get our messages and other ministries like ours onto those tablets. So I think it's Pando or something that you have to get involved with, and the offenders can download that or upload or whatever you say.
Okay.
Right?
And please tell our audience a little bit about the Governor's Award that you received. I know you don't want to brag on yourself, but please tell them about that and how that came about.
Well, again, it would be like giving all glory and a praise, praise to the Lord. But what happened was in 2012, the work of my wife, if anybody would really get a boast here.
Miss Jan, yes, we have to definitely.
So she was working at the Houston 1 Parole Division, and she was doing it every Tuesday night, and she was carrying the Breaking the Chains program, which I have on this flash drive right here, right? And so she was ministering the word there, and then the supervisor got kind of enthralled with how well she was doing what she was doing and what all we were doing in the community. And I think at the time we had 164 prisons on the books across 7 state lines, and so we were really getting after it in those days. And so the next thing I know is we was awarded the Governor's Award for our work in restorative justice. Wow. And it really is God's glory, but He allowed it to happen, and it's a real feather in our cap, so to speak, because there was many other volunteers being recognized that day, but it was just a beautiful thing to be a part of it all.
Absolutely. And you guys deserve so much credit. I know that you guys are very humble, but please, can you tell our audience exactly where they can get in touch with you, what events you have going on, how they can contribute to your mission, and even if they would like to make donations, please let them know so that we can grow and really help your mission.
Well, it is a tremendous honor to have this opportunity to reach you through this medium, and I do thank you for your viewership, and I give God the praise and glory for bringing us together. So you can reach me personally at my cell phone, 281-687-8366. And I just give you that straight because if I gave you the office line or the 1-800 number, it's going to all ring to my cell phone anyway. Things have been very tough since COVID. And so Ministries of Compassion, not just mine, but many others, and many other even larger organizations have taken quite a hit. So I just feel like that if we're going to be connected the way we're connected by the internet and mediums like this and programs, I just feel like just give you the contact info. So you can reach me on my cell phone at 281-687-8366. You can visit our website at www.coolministries.net. It's COOL ministries.net, spelled out all together. And then of course you can email me at drboyd2015@gmail.com. That's drboyd2015@gmail.com. And we just believe that we don't come to the table with our hands out. We come with our hands full of souls reached, lives touched. We have a radio program that goes out every Sunday night from KKHT FM 100.7 The Word, and it reaches thousands of prisoners across Texas and their families, and anybody can access it from anywhere in the world because it's on the internet. So that's KKHT FM 100.7 The Word, Houston, and the program is on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. and it's called the Z-Team Family Radio Show. And so we're very excited about that outreach. And then it's programs like this and other ways that we just want to connect, because I've got, like, in the past 3 months, Jay, I've been in 25 prison services.
Wow.
And that mostly single-handed, but I also have other volunteers that are going out to other places that are not even included in that number. Then I have already another 100 services in my calendar for the rest of 2023, which we're already 3 months into.
Oh, wow.
Or 4, you know. So anyway, it's like we have a lot of opportunity. We have opportunities to help people become volunteers.
Yeah.
I can give you all the guidelines on how you could become a volunteer in the prison system, and that may not be with me. That may not be under my covering. I can just give you information to help you get substantiated with your own church, your own organization, your own group, or a number of fields in this industry, I guess you might say.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hope that you will make contact with me. I would love to have you prayerfully consider partnering up with us, but any way that we can serve you, I'm down like 4 flats on a Cadillac.
Absolutely love it. Well, again, it is such a pleasure to have you here. The work that you are doing is tremendous within the community. Again, behind the prison doors, you are such an inspiration and a light. And I hope that you all will contact Pastor Boyd to really help grow his mission as well as his purpose. And thank you again for being a part of Jay Lacey's
Thank you.
Expert
Jesus.
Speaks.
God
Goodbye,
bless
you all.